Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Hi everyone.
Hey,
Hi.
Claire.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Awesome. I think we'll probably wait to get started just for a few minutes as people continue to join the call. But maybe while we're waiting, if anyone wants to drop in the chat or unmute and tell us where they're dialing in from, that's always fun.
This is Gerald. I'm dialing in from Kenya, and
Oh,
I'm
wow.
interested in learning a lot from Zeng and the entire team. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Gerald. We got someone from Atlanta. Nice. I'm in California right now.
Hi, how are you? I'm Mateo from Argentina.
Argentina. Love it. Anyone here from the East Coast, the US? Cambridge, Boston. Nice. Boston.
Hi everyone, I'm just
Paris.
from East Coast, New Jersey. Originally from Colombia, but I'm doing my PhD here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Dubai. It's pretty good.
I'm
Nice. We got
from I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, but I'm vacationing in Roatan.
nice. Oh, is that the city that I've heard so much about? Like
It's an
yeah,
island off of Honduras.
yes. Awesome. Munich, Israel, Norway. Great. We got a super global audience here today. I love to see it. Awesome. Well, I think we can go ahead and get started then. So thank you all for joining the call today, where we're going to talk a little bit about the Alnylam BioVenture Challenge, and you're going to hear from one of our awesome alumni, Claire, who's the CEO of DoriNano and one of the recipients of the BioVenture Challenge Award in the past. My name is Oliver. I am the executive director here at Nucleate. Help run the organization and organize a lot of these great opportunities like the Alnylam BioVenture Challenge. So just very briefly before we introduce Claire and have her talk a little bit about her technology and her experience at the challenge, just sort of logistical information and reminders for everyone about the challenge. So the Alnylam BioVenture Challenge is one of our programs that we run with one of our flagship sponsors, Alnylam, the pharmaceutical company that developed siRNA therapeutics. And as part of their partnership with Nucleate, they sponsor a challenge where they want to engage with innovators that are working on technologies and research within a specific area and really bring them to their HQ for a one-day partnering event, which concludes with them awarding the grand prize of $100,000 non-dilutive grant to one of the teams that Nucleate sort of brings to the competition. So the event this year will be on November 20th. It will be in Cambridge, Boston, in Alnylam's headquarters. And the deadline to apply for the challenge is October 17th. And I will really quickly put into the chat here our link tree. So we have a link tree specifically for the Alnylam BioVenture Challenge. This is kind of your one-stop shop to learn more about the challenge, to apply, and sort of get all the information that you need. We've got a recording of a previous info session that we did. Definitely this recording will also go on the link tree once we're completed. So feel free to share the information with your colleagues if you know anyone who might be interested to apply. So without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Claire, who is a Nucleate Activator alumni and also an alumni of the BioVenture Challenge, having won the award a couple of years ago and attended the event herself. So Claire, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell folks a little bit more about your technology and about what it was like to participate in the challenge?
Yeah, definitely. Oliver, actually, I prepared a deck, like a several
Oh,
slides.
wow.
It could be clear
Awesome.
because I felt I'm obligated to do this. I'm a graduate of Nucleate. I really appreciate everything Nucleate bring to me, because without Nucleate, I don't think I'm going to do this company at this day. So I prepared some slides and introduce myself, my company, and also the Alnylam page, how we use this funding. I hope this information could be helpful. Yeah.
Amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me share the screen. Okay, just like 8 slides. I hope I'll make it quick. And yeah, as I said, I really appreciate whatever Nucleate Alnylam BioVenture Challenge like award brought to us, because without this, there will be no DoriNano. And for myself, this is my personal journey. I was in China before, so I got my MD, PhD. I even had my first postdoc training in China. So I was pretty much ready for a faculty position in 2014 in China. However, my whole family decided to give that up, and we came to the US, and I have to start over like as a postdoc position at MGH, and then transit to Dana-Farber, also in the Harvard Medical School system, and also Wyss Institute. I have been a postdoc faculty for almost like 8 years, 7+ years, focusing on the nanotechnology. That's where this DoriNano, like a DoriNano, stem from. And from 2023 to 2025, I've been incubating this company at Wyss Institute. But the idea actually started from 2022. I'll introduce more of the company journey. And I also want to say, like, this personal journey also accompanied with my family journey. I got married when I was a PhD student, had my first son in the 3rd year of my PhD trip. And then I had my second son when I was at Dana-Farber, like my current lab, William Shi's lab. He supported me with 2 kids. One is my 7-year-old boy. Actually, it's his birthday today. I'm so proud. And also, I got a daughter very recently, and she is just like 7 months old. So having a daughter is like I've been like working on the startup, and in 2023, 2024, it's extremely hard to raise fund. The environment is it's like very, very down. So I was like, oh, this is I feel I want to gain something else from this journey. It's not very productive when I'm trying to fundraise to build DoriNano, but what else I can do to fulfill my life journey? So my husband and I decided to have a 3rd kid. That's why we had Dilla, the little girl here. She's such a joy. Okay, so in summary, I want to say I have a very supportive husband, 1+, because many women complain that their husband is missing their life, like they're taking care of the kids, their job. But in my case, I think my husband support more than he should. Take care of the kids and do everything to support me, because he's a lawyer as well. That's why I can really focus on the startup journey. I have 3 kids, and for my career, I published more than 35 peer-reviewed papers, and also the impact factor is more than 2,300. And also another important thing I have to mention, the grants. Actually, I won more than 15 grants along this academic journey. A lot of them I'm the PI, but I also assisted my PI in the lab to apply for the grants. So I was pretty much ready in 2023 to apply for academic position. However, as I said, the Nucleate inspired me to start up this company. So, and also our results was very promising. So I decided to start DoriNano. So what we do at DoriNano, we use DNA origami as a platform technology to develop medicines for immunology and gene-based therapies. So DNA origami is quite new. It's a novel nanoparticle that's formed by DNA. As you know, the current mainstream nanoparticle is lipid nanoparticle, AAV, and DNA origami is very, very new to even to a lot of like scientists. So I faced a lot of challenges, like how to educate the investors, the whole community with what DNA origami is, what we're capable of. Because in Shi Lab, I really focused on building this whole therapeutic platform. Before I joined the lab, the only focus on engineering side of the nanoparticle. they didn't put that in a lot of application. They didn't think about what it can be used as a therapeutics. So I really focus on this area because I had my past experience in medicine and a lot of different research directions. So I'm very familiar with what we could potentially do in a like a interdisciplinary area. So that's how we came up with our first IP that's called DoriVac, DNA origami vaccine. So we utilized DNA origami to deliver antigen and adjuvant in one nanoparticle, and also proved a very novel aspect, like how the DNA origami nanoparticle could control the nanospacing of CpG adjuvant to maximize the immune response, maximize the Th1 immune response, and kill the cancer cells. So for this technology, we have actually several papers published, including two on Nature Nanotechnology and Nature Biomedical Engineering, and a bunch of other papers that's either published or under submission. And I guided several postdocs and PhD students to finish their projects as well. So basically, this is our company executive summary. We have established team with a lot of support from industry advisors and also like world-class professors to support our company. We have the very groundbreaking breaking DNA origami nanotechnology. As I mentioned, this is a nano delivery system. It can potentially address a lot of the limitations that LNP and AAV cannot do. So other than the DNA origami therapeutic vaccine, we're also proposing to deliver siRNA or mRNA DNA. So we have put a lot of grants together, try to secure funding to support our development. So for our leading assets, we have substantial preclinical proof of concept. We have worked on like 6 different tumor models. In our most recent paper on Nature Biomedical Engineering, we compared our vaccine technology with Moderna and BioNTech vaccine, so which showed very good efficacy and also low toxicity. And we have 2 strong IPs, and we're licensing those IPs from Harvard. And we have emerging pipeline with several value creation milestones to come in the next 24 months. So that's currently where we are. And for the company journey, as I mentioned, in 2023, we were the alumni of the Nucleate. We won the program award and Alnylam award. Okay, so that's like a very first success. But at that time, I think the company was not created. It's just really an idea. We have a pitch deck to present our idea. So Alnylam award was so important, and as well as the Nucleate program award, because it proved that, oh, other than the professorship and academic track, I can do something else. So give us a lot of confidence in doing this. So from 2023 to 2022 to 2023, we've also been through a validation stage to understand whether the technology is ready, the timing, if the timing is ready, whether my career path is ready. Because I still try to become a professor in 2022. And in 2023, I finally decided like I wanted to do this startup, because once you decide to do something, especially for my personality, once I committed, I feel this will be a very important thing that I should put all my energy into this. So in 2023, we also participated like a new venture, like Harvard Business School new venture competition, Boston Capital Investment Club, and Harvard President Innovation Challenge. We got quite some awards from those activities. So the company finally was incorporated in 2023, November. So our journey was a kind of slow one. Yeah, so I don't recommend this for everybody, because sometimes if you have an idea, you want to do it, you should do it as soon as possible. But we have several situations like my red list and the paper. So our paper was not published until 2024. And also the IP. The IP was, we have done IP early, but we have to make sure like we really have a good path to commercialize the IP. So from 2023 to 2025, we participated in several more mentorship programs. For example, the Mass Bio Drive EFL, CDL. EFL is the Endless Frontier Labs. CDL is the Creative Destruction Labs. All those programs are very helpful for us to build network and gain exposure and learn a lot from all those mentors. So it's very helpful. And also during this stage, we build the company website. We're actively doing fundraising, although it's very frustrating. The fundraising is very hard in those 2 years. But we won a Mass Lex Gym program. That's another 100K plus the Alnylam Award. We could really utilize those 200K to do something. In 2025, we did the formal launching. And I left Harvard actually in August, like just 2 months ago, and we became a resident at Lab Central. We got some angel funding. We have a pharma deal to be completed. We're in the contract stage. We're establishing collaboration with hospitals, with cancer center who could help with our clinical trial, and we're doing IP licensing. And I'm still applying for a lot of grants, fellowship, golden tickets, because all of this can support the startup companies. The grants in the US, such as the SBIR, ARPA-H, and SF grants, we submit a bunch of them, and we have, so far, I think we have 6 of them pending. And the fellowship, you can always try like Premier Fellowship, Activate if you're not in the biotech therapeutic area. And golden ticket, there's so many. You can always participate in all this. So I want to say this journey, if there's no support from the early Nucleate and Alnylam Award, this journey probably will be very different. Okay, for the Alnylam pitch, because it happened several years ago, and I went back and looked at the slide deck we used. And so this is actually what we presented at that time. First is the cover page. Sorry, there's a typo. And after the cover page, we introduce the team, and you always go with problem statement, solution, and here we come up. After that, we come up with the value proposition. Actually, in most of our other like current slide deck, the value proposition we put in a like a several later slides. And then after that, we have the technology background, major results. You can go with 1 to 2 slides. And we also talk about platform potential. So the platform potential is very, very important. I want to emphasize the platform potential because at that time, there's another very strong company that did such a great job. Even now, it's called Ingel. We even myself, I feel they're so much ready than us. They should get the Alnylam Award. But I think the judge on that day, they really appreciate what we emphasized on the platform potential. Like as a delivery strategy, what we can achieve, what's the potential impact this novel delivery technology can bring. So the platform potential is very important. So after that, we just have 1 slide talking about our business model, market landscape. When I look at those slides, it's very premature, I feel. And the last slide is the roadmap. And also the roadmap, I figured out that we didn't even have a slide talking about how much funding we're raising because it's very early. We talk about what milestone we want to achieve in the next several years. We talk about we wanted to fundraise, but we didn't even put a number there. So I hope maybe you're like a mature deck, all those should be ready. So how we used this funding. So using this funding, we built the initial confidence for the startup journey, and we generated long GLP tox data. So that 100K was not enough. We actually, with the Mass Lex Gym program, we got 200K. So we used 140K to run this lung human primate and rats lung GLP tox data. But it's very important because deoxyribonucleic nanoparticle is so new. And a lot of the pharma companies or VCs are asking about the toxicity. Although we have done tons of work in mice, we told them it's very safe, but they cannot believe it. They said, "Oh, show me the monkey results." So that's why we use this limited funding resource to run this 4 NHP and 10 rats study, and we got very promising results. Okay, so with those data, we were able to bring potential collaboration opportunities, including this most recent pharma deal we're talking about, we're negotiating with. And we also, with these results, we're able to incorporate them into the grant. For example, we recently submitted SBIR phase 2 because we have preclinical validation on the disease models using the mouse model, but we also include the NHP monkey results. So it's very important to include all those. So again, I cannot say more appreciation towards Nucleate and Alnylam because all those are so important for this journey. Here I said be mindful of the tax. So there's something it's very unique to us. 2022 we got the word Nucleate help us to keep the funding because they said we need to like a registered company before we can get the funding. So we actually get the funding in 2023, and that's November. And then we have this 100K in our bank account. In 2024, we have to file the tax. Actually, we didn't use that 100K, so we had to pay 20K something tax in 2024. This is not the best use of the funding, I would say. If you get the funding in that year, try to use it, even it's just like part of it, because this is not a good way to maximize the impact. Yeah. Okay, these are just now some like words of wisdom for this application. So I want to say,
Sorry, can I ask you a question,
yes,
Claire?
yeah.
I was going to ask you, can you use any of the funding for salaries, or do you have to use it all for experiments? Are there any limitations in how you can use the funding that cause you to not be able to use it all?
So at our, so I believe the rule is different. We were the first winner. At that time, they said you can only use the funding for R&D. I believe the rule changed, right, Oliver? Can you clarify that?
Yes, I believe that the funding is eligible for any business expenses, so you can use it for salary or R&D or legal.
Yeah, but we just use it for R&D. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just last slide. I think for this application or any other pitch event, I want to say make the deck super simple, bigger words, easy figures. Try to make it as easy as possible for the audience because not everyone is from your specific field. The easier, the better. And yeah, as I said, you really have to emphasize the platform potential and practice the presentation is very important. You have to show your confidence, you're fluent in presentation. Because English is my second language, I always have to practice a lot and also be prepared for the questions. I believe if you have already got some meeting with investors, you probably will know what they will ask. It's pretty much very similar questions. But if you know the science, you are the best one to answer all this. And for the first-time founders, these are really just my my life journey. And be resilient. I think everyone knows that. And increase your consciousness. I think this is really my own journey, like lower your expectation. After so many failures, like pitching to so many investors, you're still not getting the funding. You really have to lower your expectation. But this doesn't mean that you're not good. You're good. The market is not ready, and people don't know your technology. You're making something very, very impactful. It just takes time. So be patient with that, and also increase your trustworthiness. I think this one is also like it's important. How you respond to all those questions to VCs. Are you polite enough interacting with them? You already have to build your credibility, reliability relationship. But there's a slash, like a self-orientation. I think in some cases I heard, oh, a lot of founders, entrepreneurs that are very self-orientated, they really just emphasize themselves a lot, like they feel they're right and they're very strong enough to do many things. But I wanted to say at the same time, you already have to build the first several things. If you your like a self-orientation is also high. And along this journey, improve is more than proof. So it's a process of constant learning. you never, you really just like improve yourself. Like you always learn something from other people. You don't have to prove yourself like you're the best, you're the strongest, but improve is really important for yourself. And another one is the executive's ability to leverage resources. I think this is very important, even for myself. At several inflection point, I feel for the company, I feel I can came up with some creative thing to find a solution. So at that point, no matter what resource we can leverage, just go for it. Like the people, grants, anything that could help. Yeah. So this is like a very strong thing for CEO or CTO or anyone in a startup company. And last one is like don't build a startup just to make money. I think for myself, especially sometimes people, if they focus too much on money, they don't want to lose. So sometimes actually you have to lose first, and then you gain. So that mindset for me, it worked very well. And I really hope like I can build a company to make a difference, make impact, just to bring this technology to the world and make very helpful therapeutics for patients. So that's like how I build a company. Because if it's just for money, it's tough because you're not getting any money for the past 2 years. You're not raising funding. So just to focus on what's the impact you're building into the future, like the long-term picture, kind of. That's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Claire, and thank you for coming with slides. I love that. Um, I have been answering some questions in the chat. I'm just going to give a quick roll up of some of the questions that are really important that people asked, and then we'll pivot it back to you guys for your questions to Claire about her technology, about the challenge, really anything, all questions are game. So a couple of questions people have been asking about is related to eligibility. So, and I guess like what Alnylam is looking for. So what Alnylam is really looking for is to engage. So let's start with stage of research, right? So you can be pre-incorporation as long as you have data. The data that you need at a minimum is like in vitro proof of concept data for your technology. It can't just be based on an idea or backed in the literature, by pulling together experiments that other people have done. It really has to be, you have this idea, you've demonstrated that it works either in vitro or in vivo. If you're not incorporated, that's totally fine. There has to be an ambition to start a company, because if you apply and you participate as an unincorporated team, we won't, and they award you the funding. Nucleate will hold the funding until you're incorporated. Like we can't give it to a research project. We have to give it to an incorporated company. But that's okay. If you're not incorporated at the time and you win the award, you have a year to incorporate so that you can receive the award. So that's the earliest stage, would be unincorporated company, entrepreneurial ambitions, in vitro data. On the other side, you could be like a fully incorporated, venture-backed clinical stage biotech company. So there's a very large range of eligibility in terms of the stage of the company. So like if you got venture capital funding, that's fine. If you're in the clinic, even that's fine. If you have a large amount of grant funding, that's totally fine. If you're incorporated and you have no funding, that's also fine. Okay, there are 3 sub-tracks this year. So in terms of like project eligibility, we're looking for genetic medicine, delivery, and target identification. You don't have to be working in like a specific therapeutic area. It's really just genetic medicine, delivery, with a focus on either outside of the liver or enhanced delivery to the liver, and then target identification. So for target identification, that could be something that looks like some sort of AI thing, right? So, maybe some of your validation there is a little bit different than what, the state of data would look like if you're, creating a mRNA therapy for some sort of, tumor or something like that. Okay. And then there's also questions about like the student trainee eligibility aspect. It's okay if your company is not coming out of a university, or if you yourself are no longer affiliated with the university. I think what Alnylam wants to see is like, they don't want like David Liu, of CRISPR fame to apply to this program and get this grant because David Liu is totally fine. He's a very established player. They're really looking to engage with the next generation of entrepreneurs. So, if you were doing a postdoc or you were doing a graduate school years ago and you started this company and you've been running it, and you're no longer in graduate school or no longer a postdoc. Like that's okay. Like you fit that profile of kind of that next generation of founder that Alnylam really wants to engage with and support, right? Because for them, it's not just about engaging with the science, it's also about supporting the people. And I think we would all agree, right now it's a lot more challenging for many reasons out there to get funding, right? So, having the opportunity to compete for this non-dilutive grant is a really important opportunity, and is a way that Alnylam is also, thinking about sort of giving back to the founder community to kind of continue supporting innovation. What else? Questions about IP and sort of like what's going on with the challenge and the money. So when you apply to the program, it's non-confidential. When you pitch at the day, it's all non-confidential. So you don't have to, they're not going to sign an NDA or anything. So you can keep your pitch non-confidential. So there is no license or exchange or anything relating to any IP that you have. So, if you apply and you win the grant, it is a free grant. There is no license that you have to offer on your IP. There is no confidential information that you need to provide to Alnylam in any sort of diligence. It's basically just they look at your application, they hear your pitch, and then they decide whether or not to award you the grant. So those are some common questions that were in the chat. I did answer others, but I won't, get into those. But maybe really quickly before we jump into more questions from the audience, Claire, can you tell people a little bit about what it was actually like when you attended the event and sort of the judging and the opportunity that you had to meet some of the people at Alnylam? And can you talk a little bit to sort of the value of that event? Even if you weren't to win the award, is that still something that you feel like would be valuable for early stage entrepreneurs?
Oh, yeah, totally. I think on that day, I don't quite remember who else was in that meeting, but there are definitely a lot of those managers, like higher level people from Alnylam, were in that meeting. And I think John was there, the former CEO. And that collection is very important because after we got the Alnylam Award, we were able to reserve several more meetings to update John what's going on at DoriNano. At early stage, we were not even called DoriNano. We were called we have a name like DoriVac because that's our leading product, and then we changed them of course. But we've been updating what's going on with our project to John, and he also give us a lot of advice at for all the later. I think we had 3-4 meetings in total, and most recently I think I wanted to update him again of because we just launched the company formally, although it came pretty much like several years later, but I hope he could appreciate that we're still doing this. I'm not giving up. And also on that day, I think they're very sharp. All the judges, they ask very strong questions. Like I would even benefit from that because that help you to think about how you can improve your deck to answer those questions, maybe write in the deck. And also their vision is different. Their vision is from the pharma because before that we talked to many mentors, some investors, but I didn't have the experience with pharma yet. That's pretty much like the first experience. And so their opinion is totally different. And they really emphasize and appreciate we have the platform potential that also helped me to think like what I can do based on this platform. Actually, in the early 2023, 2024, we always pitched the company as a cancer vaccine company. That didn't work because the US government, they're not in favor of cancer vaccine. They're not in favor of any vaccine. And a lot of companies that said the cancer vaccine, there's a historical failure. Although we're very confident, we showed the comparable results with Moderna and BioNTech vaccine, but still they said it's the market is not ready for that, I think. So it's super hard. And then I thought about, at the Alnylam event, they really value our platform. So starting 2024, I started getting opinions from other like VCs or leaders, asking them whether we can pivot more to a platform company. So actually that idea was validated. Once we pivot to a platform company, we started to build the resources surround that. for example, put together proposals that's totally different from cancer therapeutic vaccine, and also like getting other people to involve to help drive this platform potential. So I think that's really valuable. And eventually we were able to raise some funding. That's actually, it's not based on the cancer vaccine idea we proposed originally. It's really the platform that helped. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. Does anyone else have any questions for Claire about the challenge? Yeah, Mateo.
Hi, Claire. How are you? Oliver, how are you? Um, I
Hi.
have a question regarding the funding, the fundraising. You said it was the climate is not right for it right now. How you and your team navigate that? We're like in the same stage. We're just starting and looking for funding to start the research here in Argentina.
Mhm. Yeah, you really have to apply for many grants. Anything you can do. I think we applied, for example, in September, January of this year, I applied for 5 SBR grants. Of course, because it's vaccine and a lot of them didn't even get to the discussion. We all went to the we all entered all the grants entered into the review process, but some of them were not discussed eventually. But once you build your like a proposal, you can always do it again. So the non-dilutive funding is definitely a major resource, and we applied again this September 5th. We were able to submit April, but everything was delayed. The government the review process was delayed. So we were not able to make decision to submit the proposal in April because all of them are pending. So that's a very strong drawback of what's going on with the government. And other than the ARPA-H, we also have other than the SBI, we also have a ARPA-H pending. That's a major, it's a big grants we put together. So we collaborated with several Harvard professors, including George Church's lab, Peng Ying, and then my PI, and also another startup company. So we worked together, make a team, and we submitted a major ARPA-H office-wide program. So that budget is quite high, but also it's pending. We don't know the results yet. And we also tried Eli Lilly. There's a Sanofi ILEX program. We got into the final pitch, like we were the final 5 companies pitched to Sanofi. Although we didn't win this, but that's a good opportunity for you to make yourself familiar with them, right? So at one occasion, I met with someone. I think it's the Nucleate Summit. I met with someone from Sanofi. He was on the boat. He said, "Oh, I know DoriNano. I know your technology." See, that's like it's a good opportunity for you to get your company in front of them, so you're ready in the future. If not this time, and also Alnylam BioVenture Challenge. This is a good opportunity as well. There are so many this kind of grants you can apply for. And also for the other funding we got, it's more from angels. I got 3 angel investors, like individual angels, and also 1 VC. So I think the way we impress them is really because how you are growing in this journey, how you are you have to show you're really committed to do this and they believe in you. So yeah, that's how much we gained so far. Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you. Shayo has a question.
Yeah. Hi, Claire. Thanks for doing this. Good to see you. And a couple questions. One is more specific to your company's journey. I'm curious, what CRO did you work with for those early non-GLP tox studies, and how did you go about sort of identifying who you wanted to work with and how to design the studies? And then one question actually about this competition, but maybe I'll start there.
Wow, that's a great question. So I definitely have done tons of work. So we had quote from LabCorp, Charles River. We had quote from several like Chinese related companies. They have the US sites, Wuxi, Medicilin, Biocytogen. Like we talked to a lot of them. So compare the Chinese company to the US company, they definitely have the like a budget advantage, right? So their quote is much better than the US companies. For example, we got a longevity talks, and also sometimes the design matters. When you talk to them, you will understand, oh, this company is really experienced. They know what they're talking about. And the understand that, for example, in our field, immunology, when I talk to them, I already know that whether they're good at immunology or not. So I can make that judgment very quickly. And also for some of the design, whether you just go with rats or rats and NHP, how many like a NHP you should do, how many rats you should do. Sometimes they want you to give them answer, but if they're experienced enough, if they have done enough, they're able to give you the answer right away. And you will feel, oh, right, that's the study design you want. And so compared all this, we eventually choose WuXi. I know you said WuXi is like they have the biosecurity problem, but I think it's fine. We just use the award because there's no restriction like how you use this money, and they're very efficient in communication, and also they're very efficient. The design is very well organized, well designed. So we choose WuXi eventually. There are some other companies, their quote is less, like is smaller. The budget is smaller, but yeah, we choose WuXi, especially with 4 monkeys and 10 rats, 140. I think that's very reasonable. Yeah.
Gotcha. And other quick question is just, you mentioned sort of emphasizing platform potential. I'm curious, what applications did you see at that time as like sort of near term, like we're already doing this or we're near doing this, maybe it's the cancer vaccine applications? And what applications did you feel you could sort of propose as like additional sort of platform extensions at that time that felt like reasonable?
So this is a journey. For the platform, I had been doing experiments all the times, right? Either myself or guide some other students. Other than vaccine, I have also started some experiments, some exploration in SheLab, like how the origami nanoparticle can deliver other cargos. And then through talking to different people like VCs, pharmas, I kind of understand their focus and what they want. So for the most recent pharma deal, I cannot disclose what the pharma is, but the most recent pharma deal, we're actually delivering siRNA using the origami nanoparticle. So our initial direction is like CNS, but actually it can be expanded to many other directions. So it's really a sponsored research program, but we're delivering siRNA. This also actually we got some kind of support from Alnylam as well for our UpH application. I reached out to Alnylam, asked them whether you can write a letter of support for us. Actually, they're very nice to write that. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Awesome. I think Julio and then Sarah can ask their questions.
Excellent. Really, really nice talk. I have just one comment and one question. Comment related to the talks. Coming from pharma, now I have a much better view of we need really to think about the IND submission before we really think about talks and how to combine those things to be like perfect matching so you don't have to repeat experiments. And my question is more about how you navigated your activity in the lab and in your company when you pivoted, and how you protect your own IP so you don't have problems with university later.
So you meant when I was at Harvard incubating this company?
Yes.
I think I got a very supportive mentor. My PI, William, he's very supportive. Maybe not to the company directly, but he's very supportive of what I do. I can make my own decision, like how much time I want to spend in the lab, how much time I can spend in the company. So I think I have that freedom to do whatever I want to build the company. So for the IP, it's really like a relationship building. We cannot bypass Harvard. Whatever we generate at Harvard, that belongs to Harvard. So we have to license out. But for some exploration, we haven't really filed any IP yet because those data are not strong enough to file the IP. But if there's any IP generated, if we have to license out, we do, because I appreciate Harvard to support me through this journey. And we're building the company. If we have any like friends, if we take Harvard as friends, I think that's helpful as well. Yeah. So we don't bypass that. I just face.
But I mean, not bypassing. I'm being more like when strategically you do these moves, you don't need to pay a very high fee on something that is very well de-risked already compared to early stage ideation, early experiments. You come to the transfer office and say, okay, we have this. We would like to open an account, a company. It's a little bit more nuanced, right? Especially now, I think.
We're faced with something like that at one point, because I proposed for the up page, I proposed the idea from scratch, like how we build this proposal, what the idea is. It's everything from scratch. At that point, the Harvard definitely felt it's something they have already had, and I had a position at the same time at Waze Institute. Kind of some conflict interest happened at that time, but we addressed it. Yeah, and it's really just idea at that time. Yeah, I haven't worked extensively on some of new ideas at Harvard. I also didn't have the time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Sarah, I think, was next.
Yes, I didn't quite hear which part of which cancer you're targeting with your platform/technology. And also I wanted to point out that CPRIT is the second largest cancer research funder in the US after NIH, but you have to be located in Texas.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's great. And yeah, we're targeting head and neck cancer for this program. Actually, we're also having the conversation. We were in this therapeutic accelerator program organized by Memorial Sloan Kettering. So we're trying to establish collaboration with them. It's also like we're negotiating an agreement. So they wanted to license their know-how to support us maybe for some royalty fee in the future. I think that's a good model. If they believe our technology, if they can help us, I'm happy to work with them. Even for Harvard, I mean, for now the licensing fee, we're saying, okay, we don't have a lot of cash. We don't pay the licensing fee right away. But we're happy to do that in the future once we have more funding. And also, if we can really make profit of the product, whatever percentage you're sharing with Harvard is small, I think, based on the number I look. Even though they propose this number very aggressively, but I feel if we can really make profit, why not sharing? So yeah, I feel it's okay. Yeah.
Mateus. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
For your presentation, I have a question. How did you position yourself at the market slide when pitching the platform to investors? I know that you're now focusing on vaccines, but since the technology can be extended to other applications, did you benchmark it against delivery systems like AAVs, LNPs, or CAR T cells? And did you frame it within a specific area like right now oncology, but broader platform later?
So for our pitch deck, our current pitch deck, so when we did the Alnylam, the storytelling was totally based on the cancer vaccine, cancer immunotherapy. Okay, that's the problem. Problem and solution. It's all like a cancer vaccine storytelling. But for now, what we're doing, our problem statement is the nanoparticle limitation. So we minimize what we talk about, like emphasizing just one disease direction. But when we talk about our leading asset, we're still focusing on the cancer vaccine because that's more mature. We have 2 Nature subjournal papers, we have 2 IPs, we have longevity tox data to support that. That's still our fastest way to get to the human data. But the whole deck is really like platform oriented. And we also have one slide after the leading asset talking about like what other directions we can go to. And also the grants we have applied. I'll put a word like pending. Yeah. Which means that it's not like it's not toilet paper.
I was just reading through everyone and clearly forgot to.
There's a very weird batch somewhere.
I saw the
Sorry, I just muted someone. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot what were I? Yeah.
About the platform that right now you have the leading product, and then also you have additional slide showing what the platform can do more. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely. So it's like we show like what directions we can go to. We also show like we have applied for different grants, what efforts we put there. It's not just like a toilet paper idea. We literally put all those ideas into the proposal. We think through all those different directions. We plan out the experiments already. So that's kind of important to show you're thinking about this platform building. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. Thank you for a wonderful presentation and also for sharing your journey. That was wonderful. And I also wanted to ask you about basically how that pivot from cancer immunotherapy to, did I catch it right? You said that you're going for CNS indications. How did you CNS? Was it like mostly driven by your investors and your advisors, or what are the advantages, I guess, for CNS delivery, or whatever you can share? I'm interested.
So we're not pivoting away from our like a cancer immunotherapy to CNS right away. So for the CNS direction, it's really a research program. It's R&D program. So we're co-developing that with the pharma. So we cannot say, okay, the company as a whole pivot to CNS disease right away. Not at all. It's not our strategy. So our strategy is that we have our leading asset. We're still raising funding to drive that clinical trial to IND enabling study. But at the same time, we're working on all this R&D project to develop new assets. But we wanted to use the non-dilutive funding to support those directions. Yeah, we're not really pitching like we're going to use the investors, like dilutive funding to support those. Only when we have non-dilutive funding, we will work on the R&D projects. The CNS is just a like direction we're thinking about. We haven't really picked the disease or not like a huge resource in there yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know who is next, so I'm going to call him Brian.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for the great talk. So I have a question on the clinical side. I know for some startup companies, you can partner with hospitals to do like very small scale trials to kind of de-risk for the investors. Have you considered that? And what do you think in terms of, de-risking before you launch your clinical trial?
So yes, we're also considering that. And as people are saying, it's very like a cost efficient to do this in China, but definitely we have some other concerns because we also have to address the CMC, the manufacturing. The origami is so new, we have to do everything from scratch. We have to build all this like a process. But for the collaboration with MSK, hopefully we can really like make it solid. And then they have some capacity to help with the CMC. But we're still under conversation, under negotiation, under discussion whether how they can help. If we can do this IIT at MSK, that'd be great. But this collaboration doesn't mean that we won't spend money. We still have to spend the money to run those. But their collaboration is really like they're going to invest their know-hows. Yeah. If we have more money, we definitely wanted to do that as soon as possible. But now we're not in that position. Yeah.
Prashanti.
Thank you, Oliver. Hi, Claire. Thanks for the great talk. I had two quick questions. One, I'll ask the first. It's because it's about the Alnylam challenge. I was wondering if you were asked any question that was very different from, say, other pitches that you've done. I'll start with that, and then I'll ask the second one.
In the Alnylam pitch?
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I forgot. It's been several years. But I would say all those questions I was able to answer because I literally work on this project myself. So any scientific questions or the platform potentials, I'm able to answer those like with reason. Yeah.
Sure, understood. And the second was, it was about the ARPA, since you brought that up. I was wondering if the application process is as elaborate as, say, like the DoD, CDMRP grants or something like that. I'm asking because we had worked with a partner, like you have those in the market, like those who help develop non-dilutive grants, etc. So I was wondering, it'll help us choose whether to work with someone again or not.
So the ARPA application is a little bit different. You have to submit your abstract, the white paper first. You need to get invited to submit the full proposal. If you're not invited, it shows that they're not interested. So we submit the abstract first and then submit the full proposal. And it's definitely a very tough process because all the materials you're putting together, I think it's more difficult than other grants, than DoD or SBR. If you're very familiar with like the regular like government grants, so you should know that the files. It's really about the research strategy and the budget. You have to work on those budget justification. But for the ARPA-H, you have to make a list of all the materials you're going to purchase, a very detailed cost proposal. And you have to make the milestones like a very specific, because they're not giving you the money right away. It's like they reimburse you after you spend the money. So it's
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Thanks.
Great. Thank you all so much. This was a fantastic session. Huge shout out to Claire. Thank you, Claire, for coming to share your story and for being so prepared with the slides. We love to see it. And just a reminder to everyone that the applications close on the 17th. So get those applications in. And yeah, thank you all for being here. And thanks again to Claire.
Yeah. Thank you. Good luck, everyone.
Bye-bye.